Charlie's birthday puzzle. So it goes like this. Alfred and Bertrand just become friends with Charlie, and they want to know when her birthday is. Charlie gives them a list of 10 possible dates. Charlie then whispers the month of her birthday to Alfred and whispers the day of her birthday to Bertrand. Alfred knows the month and Bertrand knows the number. Okay, and then Alfred and Bertrand then have the following conversation. Alfred says, "I don't know when Charlie's birthday is, but I know that you, Bertrand, don't know either." Bertrand then says, "At first I didn't know when Charlie's birthday was, but now I do know." Then Alfred says, "Ah, then I also know when Charlie's birthday is." So the question is, when is Charlie's birthday? If you haven't tried to solve this puzzle before, you should pause the video and take a stab at it. So we can represent this situation in terms of modal logic, and in particular in terms of epistemic logic, which is a branch of modal logic. And we can represent it with what's called a Kripke frame, or Kripke model. Here's a Kripke model. This is what they look like. What are the possible situations here we're thinking about? Well, these are dates when a birthday is. Right, so those are the possibilities. So we should draw up the possibilities. So okay, so here are all the dates that Charlie said were possibilities. And now there's a little bit more we can model, which is that Alfred knows the month and Bertrand knows the day. So we don't know what Alfred was told, but we know he was told the month. So we know he was either told May, June, July, or August, right? And if he was told May, well, he wouldn't know when her birthday is, right? He would know it's sometime in May of the possible dates. So we can represent that by an arrow. Right, so it might be, so one possibility for Alfred's epistemic state is that he knows that the birthday is in May. Right? He can't distinguish between May 10 and May 12, right? For all he knows, it's May 10 or May 12 or May 22. But it could be that he knows it's in May, or it could be that he knows it's in June. This is Alfred. Same for July, he could have been told July. Or he could have been told August. Okay? And now, strictly speaking, I should draw some more arrows here. There should be a reflexive arrow on all of them. They should all have arrows to themselves. And this one should have an arrow all the way over to this one. Right? And this one should have an arrow over this one. Right? Should be reflexive and transitive. But let's just go with this for now. Or let's just simplify to keep it clean. Take that to represent the possible epistemic states of Alfred. He knows the month. Now what about Bertrand? Well, he knows the number, right? So now we don't know what number he was told, but we know that he was told one of these numbers. 10, 12, 22, 7, 16, 3, 10. All of them. He's told one of those numbers. And so let's say he was told 10. Well then, what would his epistemic state be like? He was told 10, so he knows that her birthday is on blah 10, for some month. But there's more than one date with 10 in it. Right? So if he was told 10, then for all he knows it would be May 10 or August 10. And if he was told 12, then for all he knows it would be May 12 or July 12. If he was told 16, then for all he knows it would be June 16 or August 16. If he was told 3, then for all he knows it would be July 3 or August 3. So we keep going like that. What other numbers could he have been told? Well, he could have been told 7. If he was told 7, well, there's no other date with 7 in it. So if he was told 7, well, then he would know that that was the date. And if he was told 22, there's no other 22, so then he would know it was the date. Okay, so there's no arrow needing to be drawn here except for an arrow to itself. Okay, so that is a way of representing the possible epistemic states of Alfred and Bertrand in terms of Kripke model in epistemic logic. So that's the setup. Okay, but then what happens? Well, what happens is Alfred says, I don't know when Charlie's birthday is, but I know that you, Bertrand, don't know either. Okay, so let's take that one conjunct at a time. So he says, first of all, Alfred says, I don't know when her birthday is. He was just told the month, so yeah, it's got to be that Alfred doesn't know. Okay, so he's telling the truth there. He doesn't know. But then he says, but I know that you, Bertrand, don't know either. So how could Alfred know that Bertrand doesn't know? Well, given the dates that Charlie said were possible, then there are situations in which Bertrand could have known, right? Like, if Charlie said 22, right? Well, then Bertrand would know, right? Because there's no other alternative. Or if Charlie said 7, then Bertrand would know, because there's no other alternative. Any of the other cases, Bertrand wouldn't know, because there are alternatives. So if Alfred knows that Bertrand doesn't know, well, then it must be that Alfred knows that Bertrand wasn't told 22 and he wasn't told 7. Well, how could he know that? Well, the way he would know that is if he was told the month, right? Alfred was told the month. And if he wasn't told May and he wasn't told June, well, then he would know that Bertrand wasn't told 22 and he wasn't told 7. Right? So that must be what's going on. If Alfred knows that Bertrand doesn't know, then it has to be that Alfred was told one of these months down here. So we can update the model. We know that Alfred wasn't told May. And we know that he wasn't told June. Okay, so we and Alfred and Bertrand all update our epistemic states after Alfred's utterance. And then Bertrand says, well, at first I didn't know Charlie's birthday, when Charlie's birthday was. That's right. Right, so he's agreeing with Alfred, like, yeah, at first I didn't know. But now I do know. Right, so Bertrand is saying that he does know when her birthday is now after that utterance. So what's going on with that? Well, if Bertrand knows, well, then he would have to be would have had to been told a number that doesn't have an alternative in the updated model. Right, so he would have had to been told one of these ones. If he was told 3, well, then he still wouldn't know. Right? So he was told 12, 10, or 16. And at first, those all had alternatives, right? Up in terms of June or May, right? But then he learns from Alfred's utterance that Alfred wasn't told June or May. So we update, those ones are eliminated, and now Bertrand says, well now I do know. If those ones are eliminated, now I know. So if he knows, then it can't be, he couldn't have been told 3, so we can get rid of, and then Alfred says, right, well in that case, I also know when Charlie's birthday is. So remember, Alfred was told the month. If he was told August, well, there would be these 2 possibilities left open to him, so he wouldn't know. So he must not have been told August. He must have been told July. And so it's July 12th.